So 200 Rideau is a 3-floor parking garage, about 150,000 square foot. We are going to be doing about 25,000 square foot of repairs on the upper floors to prevent leaking down to the lower floors. So most of the equipment that we use is coming from a company called STI out of Illinois. They run 4 head grinders with 12 diamond segments, which we use with PCDs or polycrystalline diamonds. We use those to remove all the previous waterproofing up to 98-99%. And then we use their impact shot blasters or the blast track shot blasters to profile the floor once the removal has been completed. So just about every single manufacturer that we use has some sort of certification, which we usually send people or representatives from the company to Toronto, Pittsburgh, or any other place where the companies are based to get the training and make sure that we know the changes in the products as they come every year. So beginning of the video here is shots of us doing some of the edge grinding and removal of all the membrane. We aim to get 95% plus of all of the membrane off. Obviously in some areas where there are drastic dips or the previous material was used as a patching method, we won't be able to remove all of that. But with 95% of the material off, we can guarantee a good bond between the new system and the old system. Any large areas would be done with a pull test and then approved with the actual manufacturer, but for the most part, with 95% off, we can verify everything is good. This is the process with the STI machines, with the PCD or polycrystalline diamonds. Essentially just doing all the hard removal of the previous membrane. And then obviously everything is hooked up to HEPA filter vacuum so that there is no dust. Moving into the shot blasting, the surface profile that we're looking for is a CSP3. CSP stands for concrete surface profile. With the polycrystalline diamond grinding, we hit a CSP greater than 3. However, the shot blasting is a wonderful method of making sure we get into every pocket, dip, and area that needs to be cleaned. Shot blasting, generally speaking, if we weren't doing such a heavy grind, we would shot blast to a CSP3. We're going a little bit quicker on this just based on the fact that we have the surface profile already and we're more looking to clean the slab than we are abrade the slab. So the shot blaster is currently removing all the dirt, contaminants, and dust that remains after the grind. And then here we're grinding the walls just with a wire wheel to get them all abraded for the upturn. We put down the Sika MT primer. This system that we're using is the Sika 3900 traffic deck system. It has 1 coat of 100% solids epoxy with a coat of waterproofing membrane and 2 coats of urethane top coat wear course. So the red product that is going down is the MT primer. This goes down at, I believe, 15 mils, 15 to 20 mils, which is about the thickness of a credit card. It mostly stays red. What you're seeing as far as the brown goes is the actual natural color of the concrete. So the thinner as the epoxy gets to be a nice level color, or a nice level consistency, you see more of the color of the concrete shine through than the actual pigment within the primer itself. The next step, which is the green, is the actual waterproofing membrane. This goes down a little bit thicker. So this goes down at 25 to 30 mils, which is quite a bit thicker than the primer, probably 2 credit cards worth down on the ground. And this is the part of the system that is the most flexible. So this is what your actual waterproofing comes from, I believe. Yeah, so the elongation on the product is 435% of its mass. So at 25 to 30 mils, it can move upwards of 4 times that. And then at the edge of the slab, there's also keyways, which obviously all of the materials are going into to make sure that there is a termination point that is a lot harder to break than just material essentially rolled on top of the next material beside it. So the gray is the top coat, which is the 391N from Sika. This is the wear course. Generally speaking, we try to do at least 2 coats in all of the drive lanes and areas where we know wheel turn is going to happen a lot. There is a full broadcast that goes into this as well. What we're watching on the video is the second coat of that top coat within the drive lanes. All of the parking stalls, which have the least amount of traffic, we do a single coat. So that is 40 grit washed and baked sand, which we use as our actual wear course media. The manufacturers sell their own sands as well, which are obviously a lot more aggressive. We try to keep away from heavily aggressive, just for longevity of the product itself, as far as cleaning and stuff like that goes. So generally speaking, when the buildings are put up, most people put these traffic bearing membranes down at the beginning of the project. And then as the years go on and they start to break down, it obviously gets ground off like this situation and redone. Again, the reason why they decided to do all of this is all of the parking and drive aisles underneath this P1 and P0 floors was leaking salt and water and any other contaminants on top of the vehicles below. So it was imperative for not damaging the residents' property to make sure that all of this stuff got reapplied. The longevity of the product itself is dependent on the amount of traffic that would go over it. So it kind of varies dependent on which building it's in and how much vehicle traffic goes over top of it. However, every manufacturer from Sika to BASF, General Polymers, Tremco, any of those companies and major people that do all of these membranes come with a minimum 5-year warranty. So there isn't a manufacturer that won't stand behind their product lasting a minimum of 5 years for every garage. The best way to contact us is obviously always through our office channels, which is info@vanspcl.com or 613-225-9533. And from there, we can direct you to the correct places to make sure that we get the job done.